We're going to replace a USB connector on this weight scale. I had a local high school contact me to see if we could replace a USB port on their scale. To be honest, I don't really know what this scale is for. I know it weighs things, but that's about it. I got the board out. Let's go to the microscope and chase that fix. All right, so here is the USB port. Looks like it is completely broken. And here's the port we're going to be replacing with. Now, I did look at the connection on the bottom side of this board, and it almost looks like someone actually tried to solder this or unsolder it before and kind of messed up the vias and the traces. So we'll kind of do our best to restore that. Now, I have a desoldering gun. This is what we're going to be using to do our best to remove this connector. I want to try to limit my use in hot air whenever I can. First things first, kick on the fume extractor to save our lungs from dying. Apply the best flux money can buy. If you watch my channel long enough, you know that I'm going to apply leaded solder to these joints so we can lower the melting temperature and ultimately remove this connector with ease. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our desoldering tool here. We're going to do our best to suck out the solder, which proved to be pretty easy here. Do this joint here. Okay, this one is going to be a bit more of a challenge. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I think we got enough to get that out. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's see if we can just pop this connector right off. So the connector should probably just almost fall out. We kind of have to help it fall out. All right. So here is our connector. I just want to double check the vias on this side. Sometimes they have traces running up here, and just wanted to double check and make sure that there isn't any, and there are not any traces. So now I've got our new connector. We can go ahead and put it in place. The connector does sit up on the board just slightly, but the connector is basically identical. I'll flow some solder into these anchors and the 5-volt ground and the data pins. Right, looks fantastic. Now we can clean it off with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and a brush. And now this connector is good as new. So we have installed our new connector, and I'm guessing it's probably going to work fine. It's only 4 connections and then the 2 anchors, and the port is very strong. So this is all set. Now, because I don't want this video to be super short, I also had a Nintendo Switch come in that does not dock to the TV. So originally this Nintendo Switch came in, it wasn't docking. We replaced the USB-C connector, and it started to dock again. Customer took it home, put it on their dock, not working. So we're going to investigate and see exactly what's going on, see if we can solve the no docking issue. Alright, so I always like to look in the P1 or PL3 USB chip, which is right here. And since the switch is powering on, I'm guessing this capacitor is not shorted to ground. It is not short to ground. So the next thing to do is to check each one of these filters and see if they are still working. And they all work. So because of that, let's take a look at the USB-C port and see if there's any damage there. So this is our brand spanking new port. Obviously it's slightly used now because the customer used it probably for a couple of days. And yeah, the port does still look brand spanking new. Let's take a look at the pins on the back here. Backside pins still look good. All right, yeah, so let's go ahead. I'm thinking maybe it blew out the P13 chip, or the, this one, I think we should try to replace this chip right here since it outputs the HDMI signal. This chip outputs the HDMI signal to the dock, so maybe we should try replacing this since all of our filters are good. Kick on the fume extractor, save our lungs from dying. Apply a bit of flux. It will flow around the chip, so we should be good. All right, we're going to go ahead and flow this chip here. All right. We got the new chip. This is a brand spanking new one. We're going to put some flux down. We're going to get the chip in the general vicinity. Here we go. It's starting to float here. There it is. Surface tension brought it together. Boom, we got the chip floating on the solder. Perfect. And the soldering looks perfect. So we'll clean it up, wait for it to cool down, clean it up, and put it back in the console, and we'll give it a test. Okay, so I have the Nintendo Switch here. Let me make sure that the Switch itself does turn on. And there it is, Nintendo logo, so that's good. We replaced the P113 USB chip. I have HDMI hooked up to this dock here and directly to the monitor. We're going to go ahead and test and see. We'll go ahead and Okay, I can't unlock the switch. I didn't connect the touch. Let's go ahead and connect it. I got the green light showing up here. Let's go ahead and switch it over to HDMI 2 and see if it worked. And it did. So my guess is probably the customer's Nintendo Switch dock at home. One of them is bad and ended up blowing up the P13 USB chip.
Hey guys, it's Chase in the future. I'm editing this video. I wanted to share exactly what happened. So I talked to the customer. He got his Nintendo Switch back, and it turns out he actually showed me the docks that he had, and they were both aftermarket docks. And I made sure, I was like, please do not use these. Do not even test them on it. The docks are probably going to kill your chip again. Just go ahead and get an original Nintendo Switch dock, and it will be all good. So he was happy. We didn't charge him for the chip repair. He had already come in and had the USB done. We just wanted to, give him a good experience with our business and do our best, for him.
If you like this type of content, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out and helps you guys get better content in the future. Next time we'll chase that fix.